The great water lie. That's what we're going to get into. This is one of those topics that everyone knows is true. I used to push it on people when I was in my clinic. You need to drink 8 glasses of water a day. Today we're going to get into the background of where that actually came from. And somehow we completely neglected our body's communication to us, which is called thirst. But what I'm going to tell you out loud is this. There has never been even one single clinical trial that has established how much water we need to drink to be healthy. That number, 8 glasses of water, that we keep repeating our entire life, came from a footnote someone misread from 1945. People were asked on the street, how much liquid do you drink per day? And based on that one survey, it came out to 8 glasses of water, and that has become our mantra. In 1945, the Food and Nutrition Board of the National Research Council published a set of dietary guidelines. And buried in this document was one short paragraph about water. It said this: a suitable allowance of water for adults is 2.5 liters per day. So if you stop reading right there, you probably think, okay, well, it's roughly about 8 glasses of water, case closed. But the very next sentence said, most of the quantity is contained in prepared foods. Apparently, no one really read that next sentence, and that changes everything. Because if we do the math on that, an average person gets roughly between 700 milliliters to 1 liter of fluid from their daily food. And of course, if you're eating more fruits or vegetables, you're going to get more liquid. An apple, by the way, is 86% water. A steak is 60% water. A cucumber is 95% water. And on top of that, your body actually can make a certain amount of water. It's called metabolic water. We're possibly generating over 1 liter of fluid every single day. And of course, there's a lot of other variables that are never calculated in that. For example, how much someone weighs. So does a person of 300 pounds versus 100 pounds consume the same amount of liquid? Does the person that exercises 2 hours a day versus sedentary, do they consume the same amount of liquid? What about a person that consumes a bit more caffeinated beverages, which tends to create more of a diuretic effect? Do they consume the same amount? So this entire 8 glasses of water a day came from one key figure, Dr. Frederick Stare, who was the founding chairman of nutrition at Harvard University. And he did say you can include coffee and tea and milk and even beer. Then in 2002, a kidney specialist named Dr. Heinz Bolton did something nobody has ever bothered to do. He went looking for the actual clinical evidence, and he published a thorough review, and it was this: no scientific studies were found to support the 8 glasses per day rule. What he found was the surveys. I mean, it's really bizarre to me that the entire world is following this without really even knowing where it came from. And this happens with many different areas of health. I remember long ago doing a live show, and a nutritionist called in, and I was talking about this topic, and she just let me have it. She's like, you don't know what you're talking about. You are harming people, telling people that they don't need 8 glasses of water a day. And I never actually said that, but it was just amazing how programmed people are on this 8 glasses of water a day. Because what this 8 glasses of water a day turned into is you need to drink before you're thirsty. Because by the time you are dehydrated, it's too late. And there's a lot of nutritionists and even dietitians that'll tell you to drink a lot more than this a day, just to make sure you never get dehydrated. Even saying to drink a gallon of water a day, and I'm not kidding. When you get into this, well, everyone knows it's true, but then you can't really find out where this information came from. The bigger point I want to communicate is that our bodies have a built-in system to tell us when to drink, and it's called thirst. But apparently somewhere down the line, this whole thirst thing is kind of like, just ignore that. Don't even worry about that. You want to drink before you're thirsty. As soon as you start losing just a little bit of fluid, there is a hormone, it's called vasopressin, that will start telling your kidney to hold fluid. Our bodies are designed to adapt to situations where we don't have water. I mean, if you just take a look at our past environments, famine, drought, a lack of food, lack of water, our bodies have adapted to that. And now it's such a mismatch because we can drink just constantly all day long. The reason I don't like that is you're bypassing your body's sensation for thirst. Should we eat when we're not hungry to prevent starvation? Well, look where that's gotten us. The drink more industry, the global bottled water market is now worth over $290 billion a year. Americans consume nearly 16 billion gallons of bottled water every single year. Then you have the sports drink industry, right? In 1965, Gatorade came on the scene, created at a time when there wasn't much public evidence that Gatorade actually worked. But following that was a national campaign to convince you that exercise causes dangerous dehydration and that the thirst is unreliable and their product is the cure. So in 1992, Gatorade paid the American College of Sports Medicine $250,000. A year later, they co-hosted a roundtable, exercise and fluid replacement, and the key message that came out of that partnership, drink before you are thirsty. Now think about that for a second. The industry that sells beverages funded the guidelines that told you your own thirst can't be trusted. Researchers tracked down something called water turnover, which basically means the total amount of water cycling through a body per day. And they did this on 5,640 people, okay, across 26 countries, ages 8 to 96 years old, okay, using a very specific technology to detect water loss from your body. What was the result of water loss from urination, humidity? It ranged from 1 liter loss per day to a 6 liter loss of fluid per day. This is a massive range of water exiting your body. And 1 liter is like 4 or 5 cups of water, okay? And 6 liters is 6 times that. So the liquids people need are really dependent on your age, your body size, your climate, your physical activity, how much manual labor you're doing. Your body also gives you other clues that you need more water. If your urine is a little bit darker, that means it's too concentrated. You should probably drink some more water. If your urine is completely clear, okay, that means you're drinking too much water. And if it's clear, you're also losing and flushing out your electrolytes. You really need your urine to be a pale straw color. Now, I know some people are going to say, what about kidney stones? Shouldn't we drink a lot of water to prevent kidney stones? The best way to prevent kidney stones is to have enough magnesium in your body. That's the antidote to kidney stones. And of course, if you drink 2.5 liters a day, if you're prone to kidney stones, you'll keep your urine diluted enough to prevent kidney stones. But that's a whole different topic. But here's my bigger point about this whole topic. It's a condition called hyponatremia. What is that? Low sodium in your blood. And this is way more dangerous than any type of dehydration situation. In 2007, a 28-year-old mother of 3 named Jennifer Strange entered a radio contest in Sacramento. She drank nearly 2 gallons in 3 hours, and a listener called in to warn the station that she could die from water intoxication. Jennifer died the same day. In 2005, a study from Boston Marathon found that 13% of finishers had hyponatremia. Researchers now show that every year more athletes are injured from overhydration than dehydration. I want to just touch on the quality of water that people drink as well. In city water, they use chlorine and other chemicals. In fact, there are over 600 chemical byproducts in city water, unfortunately. But the EPA only regulates 9. So you absolutely, positively must get some type of water filter if you have city water, and do not drink just regular tap water. Then you have water softeners, right, where they're taking out calcium and magnesium out of the hard water, like well water. which, by the way, they found that people that drink well water or spring water that has more magnesium in it, it lowers your risk of heart attacks. But soft water doesn't do that. In fact, long ago, we got a lot of our magnesium from the hard water, from the streams and from wells and things like that. So I am not against water. I am against forcing yourself to drink water when you're